Around the turn of this century, men and women from the Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory and the Southwest Research Institute built a machine. It was a space probe known as New Horizons. On the 19th of January 2006, exactly 13 years ago, it was launched into space using an Atlas V rocket from Cape Canaveral in Florida. This machine, built by men and women like me and you, travelled through space for 13 years at 50,000 kilometres an hour. And a couple of weeks ago, it transmitted images back to Earth from 6.5 billion kilometres away. 6.5 billion kilometres. And these images were of the most distant object ever explored by mankind. The machine, built by men and women like me and you, is powered by a thing known as an RTG, or a radioisotope thermoelectric generator. This should provide enough power to keep the machine running for about 25 years. Just to reiterate, the machine is 6.5 billion kilometres away. It's so far away that messages sent at the speed of light take 6 hours to get to Earth. The reason I'm telling you about this is because setting up in business isn't rocket science. It's relatively straightforward in the scheme of things. Yes, there's lots of unknowns and you're not going to have anyone telling you what to do next. But if you've got an idea for a business, whether it's a product or a service, or just taking something that someone's already done and doing it better, then you've got a fairly limited amount of time on this planet to put your ideas into action. 2019 is a fantastic time to set up in business. More and more consumers are turning away from the big conglomerates, and it's the smaller, more agile businesses who really have the upper hand. You've got technology at your fingertips these days that almost makes it inexcusable not to set up in business. You can make stunning looking websites for free. You can manage almost your entire business from your mobile phone. You can even follow the ramblings of other self-employed people such as me on the likes of YouTube. So here's the options. You can either keep working for the man, making big conglomerates even richer, or you can take the plunge and be in charge of your own future. A future where every second of effort that you put into work is for you and your business and not someone else's. Yes, there's absolutely going to be hard times and late nights. You're going to be more skint than you've ever been while working more hours than you've ever worked. There's going to be times when things don't go according to plan and you're going to be more scared and lonely than you've ever been. But when you feel like that, just stop for a second. Grab a cup of coffee and put things into perspective. Up there, 6.5 billion kilometres away, there's a machine beaming pictures back from the far side of our solar system. And that machine was built by men and women like me and you. Imagine how many mistakes they made over the decades of research before getting things just right. And imagine where we'd be now if, around the turn of the century, someone hadn't turned around and said, right, we're going to send a probe 6.5 billion kilometres away and send pictures back to Earth. Someone had to stand up and say, yeah, let's do it. There's never a perfect time. If it's not Brexit, it's the economy. If it's not the economy, it's house prices. If it's not house prices, it's the cost of cheese. Every single business on this planet had to start somewhere. And sometimes you just need to stop overthinking things and get it done. At some point, you're going to be old and you're going to be looking back at what you did with your life. And you don't want those moments to be filled with regret. At least if things don't go according to plan, you can hold your head up high and say you tried. Don't use Brexit as an excuse. That's going to drag out for years, and I promise you, once you're working on something that you're genuinely passionate in, you're not even going to have time to think about Brexit. Enjoy the ride, and remember, New Horizons. It's about 6.5 billion kilometres in that direction.